Hello, welcome to Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris. And this week's episode, we're asking the question, can you still buy Gunnera here in the UK? So you're probably asking, why am I even asking this question? Surely Gunnera, exotic plant that you see in lots of people's gardens, on social media, in real life, stately homes, places like the RHS gardens have it as well. Big jungly leaf plant, absolutely fantastic for a marginal bog plant as well. But the reason I'm asking it is because as of last year, it was banned for sale or division or given away to have in other people's gardens because it was classed as an invasive species. So I've done previous videos which I'll link up in the corner and also in the description below, looking at the difference between Gunnera, tinctoria, manicata and cryptica. But a long story short, pretty much all Gunneras in the UK that are manicata tinctoria have been reclassified as cryptica, which is a hybrid between tinctoria and manicata. Very large leaf plant, hardy as well, so it survived in the UK for many years, unknown really, because most people thought it was manicata, but genetic testing have realized that it's actually a hybrid with tinctoria called cryptica. So that to one side, because tinctoria has been banned for sale for many years because it's been seen as invasive in Western Europe, because cryptica is a hybrid with tinctoria, it's also been banned as well. I'll do a link to the paper on this as well. There's been loads of articles in RHS magazines, gardening magazines as well, showing that you can't buy this plant anymore. But is that actually true? Can you still buy Gunnera manicata cryptica in the UK? Well, I have been to several garden centres. When I say several, I've been to literally 7 different garden centres in my local-ish area just to see if I could actually pick up a Gunnera manicata or tinctoria or cryptica in 2024. And I can tell you the answer is no. There were no Gunneras whatsoever in any of the garden centres and nurseries I visited. I visited chain places like Dobie's, and I also went to private nurseries and private garden centres, and every single one of them, which I've known have sold Gunneras in the past, didn't have any. And I've looked sort of earlier in the year, and I've been very recently in May and June as well, and still no Gunneras. So it looks like they are off sale from the major nurseries and larger independent nurseries as well. But can you still buy them online? Well, I looked at some of the places that sold them in the past and I couldn't see them for sale. I could see the details, I could see the out of stock on several places, but I couldn't see them for sale from most places, but not all places. There are a couple of garden centres online or nurseries online that looks like you can buy them. I have not gone through to the buy now, ordered and got delivered the plants, but it looks like it's in stock and you can buy them online from a few places. Whether or not you actually get them, I don't know, because I didn't go through with a purchase, but it's interesting to see that some places look like they still sell them. Over on eBay, then yes, I've seen plenty of Gunneras for sale on eBay, so they're not being cracked down in terms of, eBay looking at what's for sale and making sure that they're all allowed. So you can still get them on eBay and swapping groups as well. Theoretically, shouldn't be able to, because like I said, it's been classed as invasive and is not permitted for sale. But as I've seen online, it looks like you can get them from eBay and swap groups and other places like that. But back to the actual places, physical places, I went to the pond section of nurseries, looked at all the different pond plants, plenty of choice there, but the Gunneras were notably missing. So it looks like it's starting to filter through that you can't buy them. And I said back in my videos last year that I think it would take a year or two for all remaining stocks to be sold through and not on sale anymore. So it looks like we're getting through the stocks now and it's harder to find it in nurseries and garden centres. But that's just my experience here. Like I said, I've been to 7 different places, so it's not just 1 or 2, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So where you live, if you've been to your local garden centres, local nurseries, have you seen Gunneras for sale? I'd be interested to know if you've seen them, especially from the chains, because they're normally got a bit more regulation, a bit more sort of emails between sites to say what the new things are and the things they've got to look out for. It's the same as a few years ago when the skunk cabbage was also banned for the similar sort of reason, because it invades watercourses. It took a while for that to go out of the trade. I saw that in nurseries for a while, but eventually you can't buy them anymore anyway. And I think that's going to be the same. I'm pretty certain that's going to be the same for Gunneras, unfortunately, in the UK. Whether or not they're actually invasive, that is not for me to say. That's obviously what the experts have said would be the case, and that is what's been put into the legislation, that you can't sell, divide, propagate, replant in other people's gardens or sell commercially. So that's Gunnera manicata, Cryptica, tinctoria. Specialised, more niche Gunneras are still for sale. You can still get those from specialist nurseries and private sellers as well. Big, bold, huge-leaved, hardy types, the ones that we all see as being like the really lustful plants that are great for exotic gardens. Unfortunately, if you haven't already got one in your garden, then unfortunately you won't be able to get one from garden centre and nursery, and probably in the future even on private groups as well, once they finally put a stamp down on those plants being sold and resold. So thanks for watching this quick edition of Exotic Garden UK. Join me next week where I'll be doing more in the garden.